Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my monthly music video that I talk about records, CDs, used finds, all the stuff that we love to talk about here on YouTube. This is what I picked up in the month of June. I'm filming this July the 1st, 2026, about to begin a long weekend here in the United States with July 4th coming up, Independence Day, and I got a lot of stuff in June. I'm surprised, but got some good variety here. So let's just go ahead and jump in. I did some record shopping, so there will be some used finds, lots of new records that I bought or that came out, and then some really cool reissues. So let's start with the CDs. I'm just going to run through these quick. Stopped at my local shop earlier in the month and found some cool CDs. I found this, which is one that I've wanted for a while. My mom has it, and it's one of my favorite tribute albums. This is called The Music Is You, a tribute to John Denver. If you love John Denver and you love indie music or folk music, you really need to get this. It's a fantastic record. Came out in 2013. All sorts of great artists on here. You've got My Morning Jacket, Old Crow Medicine Show, Dave Matthews. You've got Brett Dennen, Evan Dando, Emmylou Harris, Brandy Carlisle, Kathleen Edwards, Train, Lucinda Williams, just all sorts of people. This is fantastic. It really dives into his deep cuts and is really a fantastic listen. It plays like a brand new record. You don't think of them as covers. So The Music Is You, John Denver. This is also one that I picked up. I've been trying to get most of Miles Davis's, at least his early stuff, to like On the Corner on CD. And this is one that I was missing. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce that. I know it translates as Lift to the Scaffold. This is a soundtrack that Miles Davis did with a lot of interesting musicians, 1957. Fantastic listen. This has a bunch of bonus tracks on it as well. This is from 1988. This is the original CD. So happy to have that in my Miles collection. You Discover Music was having a really, really good deal, and I had some points. So I bought both of these CDs for like $7 or $8. This is Al Jardine's one and only album, A Postcard to California. I've really been wanting this. This was kind of the impetus to kickstart the Beach Boys reunion in 2012. This came out in 2011, I believe. This is the reissue. It came out in 22 with 2 bonus tracks. But really, really fun album. He does some he does some Beach Boys songs reimagined, like Honking Down the Highway, Help Me Rhonda. He also does California Dreamin'. Just some really, really good stuff. Al has always had such a really great voice, and I love this album, and very happy to add it to my Beach Boys adjacent collection. This was something that was missing from my Nick Drake catalog. This was Nick Drake, A Treasury. Now, the reason I got this, and I'm going to keep it, but the reason that I thought this was I understood there to be a hidden bonus track from the Pink Moon sessions, I believe, just like a minute-long bonus track. It's not on the CD. I don't know if it's in the original vinyl. I know my record store had a vinyl copy that I held off on, and somebody finally bought it, so I missed out. But it's essentially a compilation, 15 songs from his 3 albums, as well as the Ways to Love Magic compilation that came out. So happy to have this just to add to the Nick Drake completist in me. The last of the kind of used finds, I guess. This was the last Bob Dylan album that I needed. Believe it or not, I did not own the Basement Tapes, Bob Dylan and the Band, but I finally grabbed it. The reason I didn't own it was because I have the big mega box set, which I thought for years had all this music on it, but it doesn't, because this is pretty much like a third of it is new songs by the band. So I had to get this. It was like $7 or $8. So I've completed my Bob Dylan discography, finally. These were 2 new albums. This is Willie Nelson, Dream Chaser, that I think came out in May, but I grabbed it last month. This is new original songs by Willie, and Willie still puts out quality music even in his 90s. Just fantastic. Produced by his longtime producer, Buddy Cannon. Short little album, but really, really good stuff. Dream Chaser. And then this was something I wasn't going to get, and then again, the completest in me said, yeah, you're going to get it. This is the Monkees Good Times Deluxe Edition. This is the 10th anniversary of their reunion album from 2016. Obviously, 2026, 10-year anniversary, came out from Rhino Records. It has the original album. I don't think it was remixed for the CD or remastered. But then it has a second CD, which has 4 tunes that were part of a Record Store Day release, a 10-inch record that included another version of Me and Magdalena, which is my favorite Monkees song, and then 3 other tunes that didn't make the cut. I have that, but it's cool to have it on CD. And then it has the other tracks as instrumentals. So I had to get it. Let's jump. What do you want? Do you want the new albums? Do you want the old albums? Or do you want the reissues? Let's go with the old, because you said so. These were all purchased locally. This is something I've never seen before. This is the Zombies live on the BBC, 1965 through 67. This came out, it's in the original sleeve. This came out on Rhino Records back in the 80s. And this thing sounds really good. There's some cool stuff on here. You know, the Zombies are one of my favorite bands, but you've got their big hits, Tell Her No, Just Out of Reach. But then they've also got a lot of like blues covers, like It's All Right. You know, It's All Right, Have a Good Time. They do a fantastic version of that. A couple of Curtis Mayfield tunes. You Must Believe Me. They do the song This Old Heart of Mine by Holland Dozier Holland. I'd never seen this from 1985. Zombies live on the BBC. So that was very exciting to see. Filling in some of my Paul Simon. This was $10. It was super clean. There Goes Rhymin' Simon. Could be his best early album. Fantastic songs. You've got Something So Right, Loves Me Like a Rock, Kodachrome, American Tune. Just, yeah, fantastic on the Columbia. So I love Paul Simon. I just did a video on him. And then I picked up 2 ELO records that I was missing. I found a copy of Balance of Power, which is hard to find. This is one of their last albums in their original incarnation. Well, it is the last album, right? Yeah. This is from 1986. Good stuff on here, like Getting to the Point, Calling America, Heaven Only Knows. It's on this blue CBS label there. But Jeff Lynne, I have to get that. And then I also found a copy of ELO 2. This is the reissue, I believe, from the 80s. This one was hard to find on Discogs. And even the record store didn't know the date on it. They just put 19 blank. But it's on Jet Records, the classic label that ELO was on. But this has their version of Roll Over Beethoven on it. This also has, what's the other song on here? In Old England Town. Was there another one? No, that was really the only hit. Again, ELO is still trying to come into their own. They're still kind of, more in the proggy world, but kind of a cool album. But yeah, there's the different cover art. And then I'm a big fan of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. I should pick up their records more than I do, but this was $3. This one is called Symposium Dream. And just a fantastic country rock album. We think about Will the Circle Be Unbroken that they did in the 70s, but they were a really good country rock band. They do a version of, what is it? Well, their big hit on here is Bayou Jubilee. They do the song, where is it? They do a version of All I Have to Do Is Dream. They do Battle of New Orleans, the Johnny Horton tune. Hey Good Looking. I thought there was a Nesmith tune on here. Maybe I'm thinking about Uncle Charlie. Yeah, anyway, it's got some good stuff. Bayou Jubilee was a hit. They redid that later in the 80s, but Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, their stuff is cheap and it's very, very good. Let's go to the new records. So this was a birthday present that my sister got me that I wasn't able to get until I was on family vacation in the middle of June. And this is the newest by Emily Nenny, her album Moving Shoes. There's a signature there. This is on New West Records. That was not planned. On kind of a gold vinyl, Emily is great. She's kind of got this honky tonk attitude sound. I mean, the photo there, she's definitely, looking very 1960s Loretta Lynn kind of look. But her last album, I really, really loved. I saw her open for Mike Campbell, who's coming up next. I saw her open for Mike Campbell in 2023 and was very impressed. So I've been trying to get all of her records. And this is the newest. If you like honky tonk country, then you'll like this. She does do a version of a Paul Simon tune on here called. Let me get the sleeve out. Where is it? Tenderness by Paul Simon. So she knows what is up in the music world. Emily Nenny, Moving Shoes. And I just showed it. Mike Campbell's new album, And the Dirty Knobs, Mission of Mercy. Mike Campbell is just really on his own kind of high right now, and I love it to see him putting out these records really like once a year. This is the 4th album by the Dirty Knobs. He tours all the time. I'm loving this lineup of the Dirty Knobs. You have Steve Ferrone, who was a heartbreaker, for crying out loud, for their last 20 years, give or take. Lance Morris on bass, and then Chris Holt on rhythm and lead guitar with Mike. Chris is currently touring with the Eagles, playing like Don Felder parts, but this is fantastic. They do some really good stuff on here. The song Mission of Mercy is just like a trippy Brian Wilson tune. It's really, really solid. This album has a little bit more of an edge to it than the last album, Vagabond's Versions of Misfits, which there's a signed insert of that one right there. But yeah, this is fantastic. Mike Campbell, I'm loving seeing him kind of come out into the spotlight. This is, and I might be doing another video later about this record label. I haven't decided yet. It might be a little bit too ranty, but I'll just talk about the music right now. This is Sierra Farrell live at Third Man Records. Now, again, you've heard me on this channel talk about Sierra a million times. She is like the best thing up and coming in the world of Americana and country. Fantastic voice, just out of this world voice. She's touring with everybody. She's open for Mumford & Sons. She's hanging out with, Chris Stapleton. She's done stuff with Post Malone. So she's kind of crossing over, and it's just really, really cool. But there's the Third Man on, it's red vinyl. It kind of looks orange on the screen. But this is a thing that Third Man does where they record direct to acetate. And so I have another record by Old Crow that sounds very... it sounds very primitive. This one actually sounds pretty clean, but she's supporting her album Trail of Flowers on this, so she's doing most of the stuff from her new record. But she also does a couple of songs like Bells of Every Chapel and Jeremiah, which she had recorded earlier. But check out the song American Dreamin'. It's just a fantastic song by Sierra Farrell. She is just so good, so check her out. Happy to have that. Like a lot of people, I too purchased Paul McCartney's new album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane. Now, this is the Third Man white label special edition that came out. Nothing special, plain label, no inserts, not even an inner sleeve. I've got it in my own wax sleeve. And then I also picked up, thanks to my boy Alex over at Beer and Vinyl. Thank you, Alex. He was able to snag this for me. This is the silver variant, the listening day variant that came out in select record stores. And I was on vacation with my wife's family, the in-laws, and was nowhere near a store. So Alex, thank you, man, for getting this for me. And yeah, it's a really good album. Is it? I'm of the opinion that I still like McCartney 3 better. This one is a little bit more introspective, which again, for me, you would think that I would appreciate the more introspective nature of a new album. And I do, and I'm going to need to give it some more spins. I've listened to it about 3 times. So I'm going to need to give it some more spins. But I do enjoy the songs on here. The song Days We Left Behind is gorgeous. The single with Ringo, Home to Us, is great. The song Salesman Saint, um, Mountaintop is pretty trippy. Down South is fun. It's about him and George Harrison hitchhiking. So happy to have these. Again, I will talk maybe later on about Third Man Records. Um, I was able to pick this up at a listening party. This is the latest Death Cab for Cutie record called I Built You a Tower. This is really good. It's kind of Death Cab going back to how they sounded on like Transatlanticism and Plans and Narrow Stairs. This is really, really good. You know, emo, indie, pop band. Their big song was I Will Follow You Into the Dark. Really good stuff. Check out the song Punching the Flowers, or Envy the Birds. This was also a listening store party, like I said, and I won this insert, which is kind of cool, that has signatures by the band. I mean, look at that beautiful signature right there. At least for Ben Gibbard, I can see that that's a B. But yeah, artists, you need to do a little bit better with your signatures. And then I did a video about this. You can go back and check it out. This is Union Made, the latest by Old Crow Medicine Show, with a lot of cool guest artists on here like Del McCurry, Molly Tuttle, Jesse Wells. Really, really good stuff. I did a video about this. I think it's great. One of my favorites of the year so far. And lastly, let's jump into some reissues. This is one that I've wanted for a while, which is now currently on sale on Amazon for like $10 less than I paid, but I'm happy to have it. This is called From All Sides by Vince Guaraldi and Bola Sete. Now, this is like a really cool kind of bossa nova samba record with Vince Guaraldi obviously on piano and Bola on the classical guitar. Really, really good. They put this out on the OJC series, Fantasy, Craft Recordings, which they always do such a fantastic job. They do. They have songs on here that people knew at the time, especially like Girl from Ipanema, A Taste of Honey. They also do a version of The Little Drummer Boy, which ends up on the Charlie Brown Christmas album, or was on the Charlie Brown Christmas album. I'm not sure which one came first. This is from 1964. But my wife and I have listened to this now a couple of times, and I really, really like it. I'm a big Vince Guaraldi fan, and I'm starting to get to a point where I'm thinking I really want to get anything that Vince Guaraldi had anything to do with. So this was a cool start for me. So check that one out. It's really cool. Like I said, it's currently on sale this weekend on Amazon. I did a video about this gentleman who celebrated a birthday last month. This is Tony Rice, the self-titled record by Tony Rice. This is, again, part of the series that Kraft is putting out with Kevin Gray, where they're remastering these records. They've done a great job on albums, Backwaters and Church Street Blues on the old Rounder record label. This is fantastic. I mean, it just sounds so good. These are just some of the best records that I have in my collection from just a sound point of view. He does a version of Banks of the Ohio. Way Downtown is fantastic. The 8th of January. Usual cast of characters is on here. Ricky Skaggs, J.D. Crowe, David Grisman on the mandolin, Jerry Douglas, Todd Phillips, his brother, Larry Rice. Just, again, fantastic acoustic music by Tony. Proud Virginia boy. I'm very happy that he is from my home state. Kraft also just put this out. I just got this a couple days ago. This is an album called Boone Creek. Now, first of all, that's all I need to say. Look at that. That's a very baby-faced Ricky Skaggs right there. And that is a mustache and beardless Jerry Douglas, who is about 21 or 22 years old. This is the debut album by this, quote, supergroup by Rounder. I had never heard of it. The reviews of it said that it had some like soft rock elements to it. And I didn't really hear that. I mean, there's definitely some, electric bass and stuff on here. But it's pretty much a progressive bluegrass record from 1977. I think it's really, really good. They do a version of Walking in Jerusalem on here. They do, Buck White plays a little bit of piano on the song Sugar Daddy. Satisfy My Mind is like this like ragtime kind of song. But Very, very cool. You've got Wes Golding and Terry Balcom rounding out the quartet there. This is fantastic. Boone Creek. Don't let this one slip under the radar. I was really, really pleased with that when I got it and spun it just a couple days ago. I got three more here, so bear with me. This was put out by Interscope Records. This is Brian Wilson, that just wasn't made for these times. This is the soundtrack to the documentary of the same name produced by Don Was in the 90s. This was kind of the second release that Brian put out in his solo career. There it is on like this smoky kind of gold vinyl. He's doing reimaginations of his old songs. So he's doing stuff like Love and Mercy, which was obviously on the previous album. Do It Again, which has his daughters Carney and Wendy on it. This Whole World, Caroline No, Till I Die, The Warmth of the Sun. It's beautiful. It's well done. Really, really nice. Gatefold there. Now, there was some confusion, and I talked about it with my buddy Tommy over at Tommy's Musical Adventures, as well as the channel Beach Boy Man, Jeremy. And it's interesting because this was released in 2011 or 2012 on Friday Music, who, those of you that know me know, I am not a fan of Friday Music. I think they are shysters, to be honest. And when I got this, I was under the impression that this was a new press, and then I see that the reissue is Joe Ragoso, who is the, head of Friday Music, and then you've got Friday Music listed here. But this was apparently recut, and I had to do some digging to kind of say that it's not the Friday Music version. I think there was just some sloppy packaging done in the old album credits, just kind of being pasted on here. But really, really good. Kind of a stripped back Brian, and I like that a lot. I did pick up 2 Rhino High Fidelities that I was able to get with a little bit of birthday money left over. This was Uncle Tupelo Anodyne, which I've been wanting for a while. I'm so happy they put this out. We got the Wilco album sometime last year, right? And then we had the first Sun Volt album come out on Record Store Day. It wasn't a hi-fi, but really packaged up nice. And this is fantastic. Obviously, you've got Jay Farrar and Jeff Tweedy on here. But the song A Cuff Rose, to me, is just a perfect country rock tune. Chickamauga is fantastic. New Madrid, the title track is fantastic. This is just really, really well done by Rhino. Well done. This is, if you're interested, $37.58 out of 5,000. So that means it's going to be worth not much money. And then it came with the thing. I'm in the market for some larger outer sleeves. I don't have any right now. I need to order some at some point. And then lastly, I was happy that they put this out too. This is Working Man's Dead, The Grateful Dead. This is the album that came out pretty much almost in tandem with American Beauty, kind of a sister album to that. But classic Grateful Dead tunes on here, like Uncle John's Band, Direwolf, Casey Jones, New Speedway Boogie, Black Peter. I love the song New Speedway Boogie and Direwolf. They're just fantastic. You've got the sextet there of the Grateful Dead with Pigpen still in the mix. Mickey Hart obviously was with them at this point. So really, really good. They put out American Beauty a couple years ago. It was one of the first ones that they actually did in the series, and I was really, really happy that they decided to do that. But there you go. I tried to rush through it. I tried to give a little bit of information about the albums instead of just saying, here's this album and then putting it away. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully maybe this inspires you to grab a couple of these. Let me know if you have any of these, especially the new records and the reissues. I'll be interested to know your thoughts on some of those. But that does it for me, everybody. In the meantime, y'all be good, take care, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.